Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Jordan here from Artisan Electrics. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for more great videos being notified coming soon. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about tools. I know that many of you love tools and you're always asking for new tool videos, and I wanted to talk to you about some of my favourite tools, the tools that I use every single day, the tools that I use throughout the day. And these are tools that are really useful because they save me time, they save me money, they save me energy, and they enable me to get the job done to a high standard. So I'm going to talk to you about my 15 favourite tools, the ones that I use the most, and I'm going to show you what they are. Now the great thing is, if you're in the market for some new tools, Amazon Prime have their Prime Day going on right now. It starts tonight at midnight. Today's the 14th of July 2019. Tonight at midnight it starts and it lasts for 2 days. So I'm going to be straight on there first thing in the morning to order some new tools for myself, because they're going to give massive discounts on a whole range of products all across their store. So if you click the links in the description, you'll be able to buy these tools at a very, very discounted price, and you can get a free 30-day subscription to Amazon Prime in order for you to be able to do that. And the great thing is you get free next day delivery as well on all Amazon Prime orders. So anyway, that's enough of that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more great videos coming soon. So what is the first tool of choice that I wanted to share with you? Well, it is this. This is my Wera Craftform Compact screwdriver set. And I've had this now for several years and I use it every single day, and I'll show you why. So it's got this little Velcro case, and in here you have a selection of 18 different screwdrivers. You've got this screwdriver handle, and then into it you can click your various different screwdriver heads, and they just click in like that, simple as that, super solid, and then you push that tab down and pull the screwdriver heads out. The great thing about this is that if you had 18 individual screwdrivers, they would take up so much space, and let's face it, you probably only use 1 or 2 of them most of the time, but you'd be wasting so much space having all these extra different heads and so forth. This kit is so compact that it's just super quick and easy to store, and super quick and easy to change the screwdriver heads. And one of the things I love about this, and I use a lot, is actually this one. It's the meter key, because I always end up losing the little meter keys, but this has got a meter key fitting, so I can just turn up at a customer's house when I need to look in the meter box. I just click that in, and I've got my meter key to open and close the meter box. So I really love this tool set. It comes with your range of flat screwdrivers, your range of sort of meter keys and electrical cupboard keys, things like that. Then your range of posi drive and Phillips heads, and also the combination ones, which PH/S and what's this one? PH, yeah, /S1 and S2 basically, which are the ones with like a flat and Phillips at the same time, so they're good for like MCBs and things like that, which gives you a bit of extra grip on those. Now this isn't a torque set, and if you do need a torque set, then you can get that as well in the same kind of kit, but just with the torque handle. I've got that kit as well, and it's really good. I made another video about that, and there should be a link to that video coming up here now. But as I say, great screwdriver set, and I use it pretty much every single day. And it's just great quality. Wera products are great quality in general. They last a long time, and it's not expensive. Go on Amazon Prime and see how cheap you can get this right now. I paid about 50 quid for mine, but I think you'll get it much cheaper in the sale that's going on the next 2 days. What else have I got in here? So, another tool that I absolutely use every single day, which is a lifesaver, is these. These are my Knipex or Nipex, depending on how you like to pronounce them, side cutters. Made in Germany, 1000-volt insulated, and I think these are the 180s if I'm correct, so they're slightly longer. You can get a slightly shorter version of 160s, but they're just fantastic quality. They will last you a long time. Just don't cut through live cables with them, because then they might not last so long. But yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. These sharp, easy to use, ergonomic, and just great quality. So I highly recommend these. Another thing that I use a heck of a lot are these. Now I'm just about to order the insulated version of these, because I ordered these not too long ago to replace an existing set that I had, but actually I realised that these aren't 1000 volt insulated VDE, they're just, you know, meant for dead stuff. Now, not that I'm pulling on live wires very much, but I just always feel a bit more secure if I've got a fully insulated set. But these are called snipe nose pliers. They're basically long nose pliers with the angle on, and they're absolutely life-saving for getting in tight spaces, pulling things, undoing little nuts, just loads of little fiddly jobs. It's like a little long pair of fingers that you can just poke in and get, you know, get a grip on things. You get a really good grip with these, and they just come in handy in so many different circumstances. I use them particularly a lot when I'm doing testing, doing EICRs, to just pull wires out of the terminal blocks in the consumer unit, for example the neutral bar, just to pull the two neutral conductors out to do a ring continuity test. Sometimes it's a little bit tight to do it by hand because they're all so close side by side. You can just pull them out with these neatly and without damaging the wires, and then do your test and then push them back in with these. Absolute lifesaver. Use them almost every single day. Another great tool that I have been using a lot lately, which is a sort of a new addition to my collection, I've had it for a couple of months now, is these Barco heavy duty cable cutters. And I originally got these mainly for cutting tails, because people kept having a go at me about cutting tails 25mm, 16mm with my side cutters. And to be fair, they were right. So I got these because they're basically a breeze for cutting through tails, meter tails. But I've actually been using them on a day-to-day basis for just stripping cables, because they've got this little notch in, which is perfect for stripping the ends off wires. You can get a really nice neat cut without damaging the copper, and I've just found them to be quite handy and easy to use. So highly recommend these, link in the description. This is another lifesaver, and this is one that you might not have seen before, not very commonly used in the UK, but I learnt about these when I was doing work out in the Netherlands. They use them a lot in Europe, Germany, Croatia, the Netherlands, France, and basically it's what they call a meter stick. It's a meter long, you've got 1 to 99 centimetres on there. You can get a British version which has got inches on it as well if you want, if you're still thinking in imperial. But basically it's just a really easy and convenient way to measure short distances. So if you, for example, if you take an old downlight out of a ceiling and you want to measure the diameter, so because you're going to get replacements and you want to know the cutout size of the replacements that you need, you know, you just whip this out, hold it up against that, and you can see exactly the size. It's much easier than carrying a tape measure around with you and doing it that way. For short distances, this is perfect. And it's solid, you can kind of draw straight lines with it and things like that, and you can literally just flick it closed, stick it in your pocket. It's lightweight, it's made of plastic, but it's quite durable, and I just have it always in my little tool bag. And talking of tool bags, actually that was pretty much the first product that I wanted to mention to you, is this. This has been a surprising little gem to my collection. Now, if you saw the video that I made about the Vito Pro Pack Tech XL tool bag that I got, amazing tool bag, but I said in that video that they were going to send me a little freebie as an extra, because during a certain period, if you ordered a Vito tool bag, they would send you this as an extra. This is the TC something or other. have a look in the link in the description. I've put a link there, but it's just like supposed to be a little extra, you know. But I've actually been using it every day. I've just crammed in there all the tools that I use most often, and I've just been taking it onto site with me every day. And now I'm not actually using my Tech XL because it's so big and heavy. Generally, for most jobs, I'm just loading this up with all the things that I need and just carrying this on site. And it's got a nice hard flat base, so you can just lay it down. All your tools are there, easy to access. It's amazing how much stuff you can fit in this. It's absolutely phenomenal, and everything just stays neatly organised and easy to access. I've even got my drill bits there. I've got my pad saw, volt stick, I've got my pens, I've got everything I need, even like tools for, you know, doing a bit of filling, stuff like that. I've got everything I need in there, basically, you know, apart from drills and stuff, obviously. But it's an absolute lifesaver, this thing. So I have been pleasantly surprised with it, and it's reasonably priced and extremely good quality. So I would highly recommend that you get yourself one of these and join the Veto movement, as they say, because I am totally sold on Veto Pro Pack tool bags. They're just amazing, and they have massively ramped up my efficiency on site. I would say I'm not scrabbling around looking for tools anymore at all, which is quite an amazing feat, really, because I was doing so much of that in the past. So yeah, highly recommend this Veto Pro Pack little tool pouch. Another tool that I wanted to mention to you is this. It's the Fluke Volt Stick. Now I know, there we go. I know that a lot of you don't like volt sticks, and you say, oh yeah, that doesn't comply with safe isolation and all that, but actually it does. In most cases, a volt stick is absolutely fine for deciding whether a cable is dead or not. So I use this a lot because in a lot of cases, you know, you've got a wire hanging out of the ceiling, getting your little clips on, or you know, your volt lamp or whatever you call it on there. I've got one, and I do use it. I've got one in here. So this is, you know, the typical thing that you might use. Now if you don't feel confident in these, then go for one of these, but in general I would say 95% of the time I use this and I'm perfectly confident that the circuit is dead. Sometimes I have to rely on this just to be absolutely sure, but in general this does the trick and it just works. You can see it flashing there, so you know that it's on. It beeps when there's voltage, and it also lights up, so you've got a double kind of way of knowing whether the circuit's live or dead. And then you just press a little button there to power it off, and it just slips in your pouch. It's so easy. I've got several of these. I've got basically one in each tool bag. I just keep one with me all the time, and it's a quick and easy way of knowing whether a circuit's live or dead in most cases. So definitely recommend those little things. I think what happened in the past, when people first invented volt sticks, they were rubbish quality and they were really unreliable, and so people started to distrust them. But nowadays, like, these Fluke products are bulletproof. They're absolutely reliable, and you don't really need to worry about things like volt sticks like people used to worry in the past. What else have we got in here? What else did I want to talk to you about? Here we go, level. So this level, this is a Stabila level. Stanley Fatmax also make very similar ones, and this is just my go-to level every day for if I'm working, you know, putting sockets in or switches or whatever. Pop that on top, and that's just a great way to make sure that your accessories are level. I also do use a laser level, but that's mainly for, you know, when I'm doing a lot of things, putting a lot of things in, I use the laser level. But this in general, just something that I always carry with me and use it to make sure my accessories are level. Now, knives. I wanted to speak to you about knives because I must admit, if I can get it out of here, I did a video when I purchased this a little while ago in my 10 great tools for electricians video. I got this Barco thing. I thought that it was going to be good because, you know, it looked really quite impressive. It has two different blades, like a normal penknife type blade and then a Stanley blade, but to be honest, it's a bit naff. It takes up quite a lot of space in the tool bag, and this, the way it just doesn't feel safe to me, the way it sort of snaps open, snaps closed. I'm used to using the Stanley quick slide knives, and to be honest, I just can't find anything that beats that yet, because the Stanley quick slide, it slides in and slides out, and it's small. It's smaller than this, because this has got the funny thing where this bit sticks out, you see. It's not very ergonomic at all. I just don't think it's a really good design. I have been using it, but I just would say don't buy one, really, if you are thinking about it. Buy a Stanley quick slide, or buy one of these. I have been using this a lot more. This is the Nipex cable stripping knife. It's not retractable or anything, but it's just great for stripping cables and doing general cutting, you know, opening boxes and stuff like that. I've been using this quite a lot, but I'm going to get myself a couple of Stanley quick slides because I've lost the ones that I had, and they're definitely my favourite when it comes to Stanley knives. The other tools that I wanted to talk to you about, one of them is here actually. This is again an absolute essential. This is my head torch. It's an LED lenser head torch, and it's just super bright. As you can see, I'll blind you with that. It's got adjustable brightness. There's a little wheel on the back so you can up and down the brightness. And you press this thing on the back, it's got a red light, so if you're cycling or something like that, it sort of gives you a warning, a light. You can have it flashing as well. But the great thing about this is it's super light, it's rechargeable, because I did have an LED lenser in the past which used just AAA batteries, but they burnt through the batteries a lot. And it's just so bright, and as an electrician you need a head torch. I don't know how any electricians can survive without a head torch. It's just an essential, because the amount of times you've got the power off and you need light, this is the way forward. So get yourself one of these. They're not cheap, but they're absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend them. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, I've not got it in front of me, but it's my Makita drill set. I use the Makita drill and impact driver. There's a link in the description, you can see exactly which set I'm talking about, but they're super great quality Makita power tools. I know a lot of people say Milwaukee are the best as well. I'll probably get a load of comments about that later. I've not tried Milwaukee, so I don't know. I've always been a Makita person, and I've never really had any issues with them. I find them quite reasonably priced for the quality. Battery life is good. They do these 5 amp hour batteries now, which are excellent. Batteries charge up super quick. And the great thing about the Makitas is that the batteries are interchangeable between all their tools. So once you've got, you know, your enough batteries, 3, 4, 5 batteries, whatever you might need, then you can just buy the bodies, and the bodies of the tools are actually quite cheap. So link in the description for my Makita drill set. That is certainly one that I would highly recommend. The Super Rod Mega Set. If you are like me and you work in existing houses a lot, the Super Rod Mega Set is an absolute lifesaver. You know what cable rods are, right? They're sort of fiberglass rods, 1 metre long. You can screw them together and you can use them to fish cables in and out. And basically what used to happen in the past is electricians would get one of these, an old metal coat hanger, and this is what my dad taught me when I was an apprentice. And what you do is you unwind this, you straighten it out, and you make yourself a nice cable rod, and then you tape the cable onto the end and you pull it through. Quite dangerous when you think about it, you know, poking about a piece of metal in a wall, not insulated. And to be honest, it did work, but not as good as this. the Super Rod Mega Set is absolutely genius because it's got these end bits, and the one that I use the most is there's a magnet and then like a little string of metal beads, and you attach the string of metal beads onto one end and then the magnet on the other end, and you can poke the end up into the ceiling that's got the string of metal beads on, and then from the other side you can catch it with the magnet, and you can almost always get through different scenarios that way, whether it's a hollow wall or in a ceiling or whatever. You can usually catch it and pull your way through, and it gets me out of so many tricky fishing situations, the Super Rod Mega Set. Again, it's not cheap, but the amount of time it saves, or the amount of making good, you know, the amount of holes you'd have to cut in ceilings if you didn't have one of these things, it's just an absolute lifesaver. I've got a little video clip that I might share with you about using that, but yeah, get yourself one of those, you won't regret it. An absolute amazing life-saving tool. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is a bit set. So I've got the Makita drill, as I mentioned, but bits are very important. In general, I just use a PZ2 most of the time with a bit holder, but I've got this great Bosch bit set which has all different bits, like with the Torx ends, with the different pH, flat heads, all those. It's got the whole selection, and it's in a little case like this. It's really small. I didn't bring it in with me. It's still out in the van, but get yourself one of those, like super cheap, and it's got all the different options that you might need in terms of bits for your impact driver or your drill screwdriver bits, etc. So I'll put a link in the description for one of those. It's just a tool that I use almost every day. It's self-explanatory really, but I would highly recommend it. And then the last one that I wanted to mention to you is a long wander lead. So when you're doing earth continuity testing, there's two ways of doing it. You can do R1 and R2, which is where you have to link out the earth and the live, either at the consumer unit end or the end of the final circuit, and then you test the continuity of both the live and the earth. But the other way of doing it, and the more thorough way, is to get a long wander lead. You put a crocodile clip on the earth at the consumer unit end, and then you go around every earth metal point throughout the house that should be earthed, and you do a continuity test. And it's a way of really thoroughly checking the earth continuity throughout the house, because if you just do R1 and R2 at the end point of the circuit, you miss a lot of points that might not be earthed, but you don't know unless you go round every single one, which takes a lot of time and effort. But doing the long wander lead test, you just go around, you spike onto all the different metallic points that you can find, the light fittings, the earth pins in the sockets, the switches, etc., and you get a reading on them, and you know straight away if something's not earthed. You can do some investigation. So 50 metre R2 long wander lead is an absolute lifesaver when it comes to doing periodic inspection and testing, EICRs basically. I highly recommend it. Link in the description for that one. So that is my 15 favourite tools that I use on a day-to-day basis. Now, there are a lot more that I could mention, such as my test equipment, things like that. Obviously I use that on a pretty much daily basis as well. But I wanted to just talk to you about things that you might not have come across before, little tools that are time savers and that are really useful. I hope this video has been of benefit to you. If it has, and if you haven't already, please gently press that like button and subscribe to the channel for more great videos coming soon.